Ding stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, and I said,
Welcome in. I'm going to say it right in front of Harold Grader, second in charge to the head honcho Big Cheese, Steve Arrett, who I saw yesterday. I'm not sure the AutoZone Liberty Bowl could have been any better. I don't know if did you guys give out exact numbers by any chance? 52? See, I knew it was at least 51,000. And I said in my notes here, you can look, it's a legit 51. You're saying 52, how many? 52? 847. 52, 847.
It was the most crowded I've ever seen it by far.
I'm going to say this to you, and I said this to Earhart. I'm a firm believer in this. Looking at all the bowl games, there is no doubt that the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, minus the two playoff games and the championship game, I put those separately. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl will clearly be in the top 5 of attended bowls of all the bowl games. How many are there now? 42 bowl games. Wow. They're going to be in the top 5. I don't know. I know the Sugar's going to beat it. I know the Rose is going to beat it. Just because they always do. They're always going to get 70, 80,000 in those. I don't know about the Cotton Bowl because from what I'm hearing, Tulane is not exactly pouring in ticket requests. So, heck, it might beat even the Cotton Bowl, which is a shame because that bowl is the best as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about the Fiesta, but honestly, there's no question in my mind it's top 5. Maybe it ends up being top 3 behind the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. That would really be something. I don't believe you could have done it any better, and then you get this game where 24 records are broken. Now, Jefferson Starship was terrific, by the way. Got to work on the lip syncing a bit, but they're outstanding. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I heard the gala was great. I was really sorry I missed it, but I missed it for a good reason. I had a pretty good time in Dallas, but I must confess at halftime, there's no way I thought that Kansas could come back on Arkansas. I thought Kansas could move the ball a little bit. But I didn't think, and a lot of it was size of their line and the speed that Arkansas possessed. I didn't think they could stop Arkansas at all. I thought they might score a little bit, and I didn't think there was any way they could stop. 32 straight points? That was 38-13. Wow. I mean, wow.
And should have scored more going into halftime, too, if they hadn't thrown that interception.
If that is a touchdown instead of a pick, there's no way there's going to be a comeback. No way. But that's the way it went. Turnovers are big. Boy, you talk about turnovers and craziness in the Ole Miss Texas Tech game, too. And we still got more games to play, including the playoffs this Saturday. Man, this is just a lot of fun. College football, come on. But you couldn't beat yesterday the weather. You couldn't beat the atmosphere. I already mentioned Jefferson Starship. The Kansas comeback, the crazy OTs, the targeting call, which I thought was the correct call. I mean, there's no doubt the guy lowers his head.
Big time.
No doubt. I heard some people going, well, I don't know, because it kind of hit on the side. The guy lowers his head, and he hits him in the helmet. Now, it might be on the side, but he lowered his head and hit him in the helmet. How more of a definition can you get than what you got? I mean, that's absolutely the right call by the Pac-12. Man, the Pac-12 must be the busiest dang officiating conference because they had the game in Dallas, too. And I'm not sure, did they do the game in Houston with Texas Tech? I think that might have been a Pac-12 group.
Either that or Big Ten. It would have to be, right? Because it has
Right.
to be a team, a conference that they're not affiliated with.
Anyway, that was nuts. I'll get into that in a second. The only, like I'm saying, you couldn't really get this any better. But there's always room for improvement. You can always critique a little bit, and this is really not the fault of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It is not the fault of the folks at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, I don't think. I think this goes back to the city and preparation for big crowds. So if you get almost 53,000 in the stadium, how can you have one lane of traffic going into the main entrance to the stadium off Southern Avenue? They want you to go off Southern. They want you to go off Central. Those are really the only two places you can't really get into Tiger Lane except early, I guess, when you're bringing all your tailgate stuff. That gets filled up. You can't really use that because they don't want it to be a feeder. So you got two entrances, and you're talking about one lane in each. So there was gridlock. If you're familiar with the city on Southern, and I think that is the entrance that is most used. Is that because I think that's the bigger area to get to parking. I know that's where the silver lots are, gold lots are. A lot of the Tiger Lane lots get connected that way. I think it's used more than the Central. And I'll be honest with you, because I got to go in Southern. I don't know what happened on Central, but I'm guessing it was very similar because they need more traffic control, more people, and more than one lane. You're talking about using Southern Avenue, one lane gridlock, 2 blocks east, at least 2 blocks east of Bunton. Didn't move for a half hour at a time. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Some people, I guarantee, it took an hour and a half to get in. I know of one media member, I just heard the story, parked at Cooper Young, walked to the stadium, and then got his car at halftime because he could then get into the ballpark. I mean, that's nuts. You've got to have more traffic control for these games when you're expecting over 35 or 40,000. You've got to have more people. And look, most of these people that came, Kansas and Arkansas fans, they don't know where they're going. They don't know what to do. The Arkansas fans might have been here before. Well, guess what? We got the new sports center that's there and all that parking that used to be part of Liberty Land. Well, that's no longer parkable. So you got less spots. That's my only complaint because I think this was amazing. Think about it. Jalen Daniels threw for 540 yards, 544 to be exact, 5 touchdowns, did throw 2 picks. 540 yards, they end up with 601 total yards. Arkansas rushed for 394 and a total of 681. We're talking almost 1,300 yards in this game. Oh, my gosh, was it fun. And the comeback, and, to me, it was a win for everybody. I know Kansas loses this game, but the way they came back and scored 32 and showed so much heart and took it to a third overtime, and frankly, it probably should have gone to a fourth. That kid can run into the end zone. Why is he throwing the ball? I know it was designed as really it's a jet sweep option with the wide receiver coming from left to right. He gets the ball. He can run in. I promise you. There blocking was set up where he could run in, but he's got in his mind, well, I'm passing this ball because it's an option. I know it worked in practice. I'm going to pass this thing, and I'm going to have a complete pass 2-point conversion on my resume, and it's nowhere near. He just absolutely threw it way too high and way behind the receiver. Not a chance to be caught, but he could have gotten in running. If you look at the way the blocking had been set up, and there was even one guy made contact, there was a lane. He could have run in. We could still be there right now, but we're not. But it was really, I think, just about as good as you could get at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl yesterday. We got hoops coming. We got Grizz tonight, and we got Tigers at FedEx Forum, the beginning of the American Athletic Conference. I'm really anxious to see exactly what the welcome will be for Tyler Harris. And Tyler Harris, now I will confess to you, when he first came to Memphis, I did not think he was a team guy. I really didn't. I think he was about himself. He was about his threes, his numbers, his minutes, and it didn't work out, and he left. He wanted to come back home so badly that he was a walk-on last year, a walk-on. And I'm not sure what exactly was the ultimate decider in Penny's mind as to why he didn't really want Tyler back or Landers Nolly. Now, think about this. You took your two best three-point shooters out of the mix. And that is the flaw in this team, is that you can't shoot threes. But, and I've said this before, I think when Penny made that decision, he knew he was going to get Emmanuel Acott, which then at the last second, Western Kentucky bought him off. And I think he thought Lester Quinones was coming back. And the way it's worked out for Lester now, if they'd gotten enough NIL money, which they probably could have, he'd have been better off coming back and maybe upping his stock and getting a more guaranteed contract out of the deal. But he's not getting guaranteed money. He's getting whatever the G League kind of average is. And I think Memphis could have done better than that, and you would have had no flaws. If you had Acott and Quinones on this team, you might not have had both Kennedy and McCadden, but you could live without that. This team would be – we'd be talking Elite Eights, maybe Final Fours, if they had those two guys. You still, I think, have an issue with rebounding, but we'll see how all that evolves. But Penny made it pretty clear that it was his choice. Look, I think we all knew that because Tyler Harris said it. And Tyler Harris was a changed guy last year, I thought. I thought he wanted to contribute. People don't realize he was obviously the best three-point shooter. His percentages, by the way, were better last year than they are now. But he led the team in scoring 8 times. That's more than anybody on the team last year that went to the second round of the NCAA and should have knocked off the number 1 and gone to the Sweet 16. But how will Tyler Harris be welcomed tonight at FedEx Forum? J-Mo?
I think it'll be positive. I mean, like you just said, it's been very clear from both his side, and Penny doesn't seem to harbor any ill will about him saying it, that he was not asked to come back to the program this year. And I think that makes – and like you said, he was willing to be a walk-on last year. He's from the city. I think it'll be really positive, to be honest with you. And I don't think fans necessarily see USF as a giant threat here tonight, and I think that probably helps with the ovation as well.
Well, he comes in averaging over 15. He's their leading scorer. They have won 5 in a row, 7 of their last 8 after losing their first 5 games. Now, they lost at Auburn, and they made that respectable. That was like 8 points, something like that. But they haven't played anybody, really. I mean, you look at those 5 wins. They won at Northern Iowa, which usually you go, hey, that's a hard place to play. One of the better Valley schools. There's some tradition and history there. Look at their net. It's almost as bad. USF's net is, by the way, 199. Memphis cannot lose this game when you've got nets like that. Hey, there's only 3 nets in the American that are any good, and that is Houston at number 1, Memphis today at 45. I would have thought that might moved up a little bit yesterday because of Auburn winning, Alabama winning. Didn't know. It's 45, at least last I saw. And UCF is 66. And then after that, you're at like 119, 140, 166, 199. That's where USF is. And they won at Northern Iowa. They beat the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I mean, there's no Gold Star wins here.
By 20, though. They beat the New Jersey Institute of Technology by 20. Giant win for these guys.
I think my old JCC team in their 30s could have beaten that NJIT.
The Highlanders, apparently. I just learned that's their mascot.
Okay. No, but it'll be a lot of fun tonight. I really believe that. I think we will enjoy. Yay! It's been over a week since we've seen Tiger basketball. I got a Jones for it. So, and we should be healthier. I think Alo's going to play. I think Keontae Kennedy is out of concussion protocol. We'll see if he plays Granja at all, if the Tigers get up to a big lead here, or maybe they start throwing zones and you want to give this guy another chance. Penny said he was so nervous in the game with Alabama State that it really affected his play. He gave him the decision. That's the terrible thing, and they really do need to change this. The terrible thing is that if you play 1 second as opposed to 1/3 of a season and a bowl game in college football, you can play 4 games and a bowl game. It's free. 5 games, literally, so the one postseason game. And you keep your scholarship, and you've got another year of eligibility. You play 1 second in college basketball, and I think they're going to change it. But 1 second now, and you're done. So he gave Ian Granja, the kid from Spain who's been hurt, he gave him the choice. He said, okay, I'll play you if you really want to play, but we can hold you off, and you can have your redshirt year and develop, and we'll see how it goes next year. And he goes, I want to play. So he threw him in, and the kid didn't look so good, to be honest. But we'll see. Penny said all of that was nerves. I don't know how they'll start. My guess would be Davis, Alo, Franklin, Williams, and Chandler Lawson. You'll probably see more of Jonathan Lawson. I think he's earned the ability now to be at least in the rotation for the moment if he can continue to hit threes and not be a sieve when it comes to defensive basketball. Because there are 2 sides to the floor. People seem and tend to forget that. But I think he's earned a shot at that. You'll see Kennedy and probably McCadden, and they both deserve some playing time. I think that's the way it'll go. We shall see. As I've said before, I think Memphis, in order to get, when you're at 45 already, you see that Lenardi's got you as a 6 seed. DeCourcy and Shelby Mast, who's on with Brett and Gabe on Sportstime every week. He's got him at 7 with DeCourcy, and then Jerry Palm. We got to talk to Jerry Palm. We got to get Eli and Greg to sit down and teach Jerry Palm the Memphis basketball, because he's got him as a 9, and if they were to win over the 8 seed, they'd have to play the number 1 seed, Purdue. What's wrong with him?
We're lucky he's not the one making the final decision.
He's usually pretty good, though.
He is.
Anyway, we'll see. I think they have to win 15 of the 18. And I think if one of them is Houston, you can lose at UCF. That's okay. You can lose at Houston. That's okay. I'm not sure where else you can lose, really. You shouldn't lose a home game. If you do lose a home game, it could be to Houston. But if you beat Houston once and only lose 3 conference games, I think you'll get the 6 seed. If you get a 6 seed, I think you can get to the Sweet 16. And then that all depends on matchups and everything else. Last thing before we take a break, we got a busy show. We'll talk NFL and the Tigers bowl game with the one and only Russell Copeland. He'll come your way at about 10:25. Ron Higgins will join us. He's got a smile on his face. Oh, there was some crazy stuff in college basketball last night. LSU at home knocks off Arkansas. That was 60-57. Missouri at home. Do you see what they did at Kentucky?
Beat him up pretty good.
Man. So North Carolina and Kentucky were the top 2 teams in the preseason by most pollsters. UNC's not in the top 25 anymore. And Kentucky, I think, was 19 yesterday. They may not be in the top 25 when the new poll comes out next week, depending on what happens this weekend. Crazy year already. Ole Miss could have won the Tennessee game. Our own Eli Savoy on the call yesterday at the half, they look pretty good. Tennessee plays defense, though, don't they?
They do.
And that's where, like Auburn and Alabama, that's why I don't think they can win national titles. As good as they may be, they don't play D. They'd rather outscore you than play D. And I think Rick Barnes' philosophy usually gets you further when it comes to tournament time.
Gave up 25 points in the second half yesterday, Tennessee did. That's some lockdown defense.
That's amazing. I can't figure out Arkansas. I think that team should be really good. And I thought of all of them, they had the best chance, and now I really am doubting that a little bit. All right, before we run out of time, Grizz at Toronto tonight. Memphis favored by 3.5. It all comes down to threes, right? If you look, their three-point shooting is abysmal. The only thing that might be worse is their three-point defense. They have been outscored from the three-point line in the last 2 games by 9 threes. That's 27 points a game.
Not going to win many games in the
How
NBA.
are you going to win? You're not. They shouldn't have been talking. They should not have been talking about the West. It's coming back to haunt them. I like confidence, but kind of cool confidence. Sort of like under the skin, nothing's going to bother me kind of confidence. Not where you got to tout yourself and say, I'm not worried about anybody in the West. When you were at 500 against the West at that point, now you're a game under 500 in the West.
Be a tough game, too. Last 3 games for Toronto, they're 2-1, and one of those games, Pascal Siakam scored 52 points against the Knicks, so this will be a tough one.
Well, Ja needs help. Ja needs Desmond Bane to look like Desmond Bane after about, the 4th or 5th game of the year, because he didn't start off very proficient. And then he got really good, and then he got hurt. I don't know if he's 100%. I wonder if that comes into this pathetic shooting. And then Dillon Brooks. I mean, here's the thing about Dillon Brooks. If you're not hitting your threes, which is a very common occurrence, go to the hole. You shoot free throws. You're tough as can be. You are much more efficient inside than you are out. Quit taking threes. If you miss your first 2 or 3, go, okay, I'm going to go inside. It's not like you're scared of physicality. In fact, you love physicality. And you do it cleanly other than Grayson Allen. Did you see last night with DeRozan?
The Bulls announcers were going after him last night on the game.
Yeah, something like I watched.
He needs a
on
two-piece.
Twitter. I'm not sure which set of announcers I had, but they're going, if there's trouble, Grayson Allen's going to be in there.
That's right.
He's dirty. He can't help himself. He had started as a collegiate player. Mike Krzyzewski should have benched him, made a point. Maybe he wouldn't be this way. I'm going to blame Mike Krzyzewski for Grayson Allen's dirtiness. Anyway, Grizz tonight, hope they hit some threes and stop some threes, and we'll see what they do with Toronto. They're favored on the road, but as you just said, I'm not sure the right team is favored. That is one segment in the books. I do want to let you know we're sitting in the Family Leisure Studio. Please go by I-40 and Whidden Road. Do it. Go see them, because the Christmas sale is still going on. There's always a sale. I think they even took, because now Christmas is over, some of the items that were on sale and lowered them. Go look at hot tubs. Go look at saunas. Go look at, the games for kids, play gyms, the new arcades. Go check them out. I think you'll like what you see. That's Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. And I got to tell you, start picking up all your goodies. I know I just heard my friend Harold Grader saying he's going to the Alabama Bowl game. He might want to get something for the tailgate that's going to be going on there. If you're going to have a party at your house to watch the college football playoffs, or even tonight for the Grizzlies or for the Tigers, you've got to get the best signature suite that there is in all of Memphis. It's Dinstall's. The entire Dinstall team says, thank you, Memphis, for 120 years of support. And by the way, they're killing it. They are killing it. Well, it's so good. How can you help it? And Becky Dinstall and all the crew, Judy and Larry and all those folks say, thank you for 120 years. You've made this so sweet for all of us. And they wish you all a happy and a sweet, full of Dinstalls, new year. We pause for a second. When we come back, Russell Copeland on the Tigers and on the National Football League. He's next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, everybody. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlays, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Looking for a bar with it all? Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. Pimento's makes football your fantasy with 17 TVs and $2 draft beers during the game, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you know I love a great happy hour. At Pimento's, $4 house cocktails, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Yes, $4 house cocktails. Try one of their signature drinks like the JJ Spicy Margarita or the Tennessee Sunset. How about a Memphis Mudslide? Or be a kid again with the Adventure River Rum Punch. Hungry? Try a fan favorite, Bacon Pimento Cheeseburger. Or be like me and try them all. The Mushroom Extravaganza, Sweet Heat, and the Dirty, Mean, and Nasty. Need I say more? Well, yes, because there's so much more than just pimento cheese. Sliders, salads, quesadillas, 10 different appetizers. Just don't forget about dessert. 2 great locations, 6450 Poplar Avenue in East Memphis, and in Collierville, 3751 South Houston Levee Road. A bar with it all, Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. So much more than pimento cheese.
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and Kia's leading the way with donations to our very own St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Buy a ride until December 31st and Kia will donate for you. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2023 Kia Forte LSX. $234 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 to its signing. Get a thrill in 2023 Kia K5 LSX. $296 a month, 36-month lease, $31.99 to its signing. And if we don't have what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today, and you won't pay over MSRP. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Post 650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 545,584, MSRP 22,150, K5 PG 186,690, MSRP 27,765, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through KFA Hyundai, excludes tax island license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 1/3/23, dealer stock only, warranties limited, powertrain warranty, see Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
You know our title sponsor, that's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. So proud of our association. They've been with me for such a long time, and they're such a good company. They just are the kind of folks that people keep coming back because they get taken care of, whether it's service, and I've got a car there right now. I know they're taking care of that problem. Or it's to entice you with some kind of a deal that gets you into new technology, and there's no better new technology than Hyundai. They will now let you buy any new Hyundai on the lot. That could be the Palisade, that big thing. It could be my favorite, the Santa Fe. It could be the smaller version of that, the Tucson, a little better gas mileage. It could be an Elantra, a Veloster. There's so many good products that are on that lot. And you can now pick up one of those and don't worry about paying for 90 days. 3 months. Don't worry about that first payment. This is the new financial deferment package that they've got going on all the way through the month of January. All you got to do is drop by. That's Highway 78, Lamar. First exit Mississippi is Craft Road, turn left. Go find yourself a new car. Don't worry about paying for 90 days at Homer Skelton Hyundai. We speak with our good friend Russell Copeland in a minute, and he's brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Team. You know Matt and his group, the way they do insurance, it's collaborative. They get to know you, find the right protection, and they do it within your budget because they get to know you and what your needs and what your finances are all about. And that could be for a home program, auto insurance, life insurance. They know you and they protect you. They do the same thing with small to mid-sized businesses, commercial insurance. They have virtually unlimited access to programs that'll fit you perfectly. Whatever your product may be, what those assets are, what you've got to spend to protect, they figure it out. They will protect you. Just call 386-GER. That's 901-386-4777. The GER is because they're big Tiger supporters. That's the Eflin Insurance Team. A member of the Tiger broadcasting crew on football, former Tiger, former NFLer. He joins us every week throughout the year because you can always talk football. That's Russell Copeland. We're going to talk some NFL. The playoffs are coming into view, but we got to start with the Tigers' win over Utah State in a dominating way in Dallas, in the SMU Stadium, where they lost exactly a month before in a heartbreaking way. This time they dominate the team from the Mountain West, and they end up, Russell, 7-6. Give me your take.
Well, I tell you what, Dave, I think it was the best game that the Tigers had played the entire year. A complete game, complementary football offensively and defensively. And you look at it from the offensive standpoint, man, they what balance that they had. They had balance running the football. The time of possession was great. They protected the football. And for me, they were able to win on early downs, where now you look at Seth Henneken, he was able to pick apart that secondary. And what I really liked, the wide receivers were able to really get down the field. He was able to spread the football around. And you know, Priest-Corn has had an outstanding year, but your wide receivers were able to play. Seth Henneken did not have to be the leading rusher. He did not have to get outside the pocket a lot. And defensively, what a great showing by the defense. They created turnovers. They played fast. They played aggressive. They got off the football field, and they made the team one-dimensional. And this is the type of team that we had seen early in the year when we saw flashes. We had lapses. They didn't have any lapses. They completed the football game from the start to the finish.
I think I mentioned this yesterday on the air when we were traveling back from Dallas, but I ran into Justin Fuente, had a nice conversation with him. He had watched every Memphis football game in preparation for being the analyst on that game on the Sirius XM call. And he said Memphis probably should have won 10 games. This was before the bowl game last year. He was really impressed with Ryan Silverfield. And, you know, things just didn't seem to go that way. Maybe they will next year. I am so bullish on this team after what I saw in the bowl, after what I see coming back. Like, just take a look at the defensive line. If you get Cameron Jackson back, Kermonte Hamilton's coming back. Whitlow and James Stewart, both redshirt freshmen, were terrific in that bowl game. Jalen Allen is coming back. I mean, there's depth up front on defense that I can't recall Memphis really having before. You got 10 linemen, by the way, between recruiting class and portal thus far. That should bolster you. I just think all told, with this really good recruiting class and frankly, a schedule that is easier next year than it's been. Memphis is looking at a 9 or 10 win season and a chance to play in the New Year's Day Six, which I believe for the group of 5 next year is the Peach Bowl.
Absolutely, Dave. Very excited about the upcoming class. I think the Tigers have done a great job of solidifying the offensive, defensive line thus far. Of course, we have to see what's going on in the portal. But when you look at this season, this team was one of the youngest teams in the NCAA. So you look at from the month off, and you look at them coming back. Now you'll have a lot of juniors, you'll have a lot of seniors, and I think those close games they'll be able to win because you talk about an 8-win season, 9-win season, 10-win season. You look at Houston. You lose 33-32. You look at East Carolina, triple overtime, you lose that game. That's 8 wins right there. And then the last game, SMU 34-31. So that's a 9-game season. So definitely I'm looking forward to this season. I honestly think what I saw Saturday, I think this is a football team that's going to be ready to play, and they'll be better as far as depth and as far as them being older.
I know it's weird, but I really can't wait. I'm really looking forward to next September. In the meantime, we still got a lot to play in the National Football League. Your Buffalo Bills clinched their 3rd straight AFC East title. So my first question for you is very simple. Russell, who are the New England Patriots?
I think when you look at this New England Patriots football team, I think Bill Belichick has done a great job. But they've done some things that's really uncanny for a Patriots type of football team. A lot of penalties, not being able to be aware of what's going on. Still a dangerous team. But I think when you look at the Buffalo Bills now winning that division, the Patriots without Tom Brady, it's just a different era now for the Patriots, and now it's a different era now for the Buffalo Bills. Very reminiscent of when I was part of the teams that were in the 90s.
Yeah, they really are the dominant team in that division. You got Miami in that division too, and now Tua is apparently he was in concussion protocol, 2nd time this year. He's not going to play this week. If you were Tua or you were Tua's advisor, would you say, hey, you got many years to play? Once you get 2 concussions, you're really susceptible. Would you sit him out?
Absolutely. And what we know about concussions now over the past, 10, 15 years, life after football, I'm really concerned about Tua Tagovailoa, playing. I think his career definitely could be in jeopardy now, especially what we saw earlier in the year, him being concussed and him staggering and him not being able to, and how long his concussion symptoms are lasting. I really would be concerned about his future, seriously.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, let's move now to the second to last week of this regular season. Should be a lot of fun to watch. The playoff picture not quite in focus yet. Like there's the Green Bay story. Can they get in? There's Detroit. Can they get in? Chargers got in. If we're starting today, the Buffalo Bills get the bye in the AFC. And the Philadelphia Eagles get the bye in the NFC. What's sticking out in your mind as we go down the stretch here?
Well, honestly, Dave, it's the part of the season now where you have so many moving pieces. I think from the number 1 seeds all the way to the 10th seeds getting in, those are moving pieces because I can start with the NFC with the Eagles. They have the Saints and they have the Giants. They need to win against the Saints just to be able to win their division and keep the number 1 seed. And we're talking about the Buffalo Bills. Right now, for them to stay at number 1, they got a tough slate with the Bengals, and you finish with the Patriots because the Chiefs, I think they have the easiest schedule at number 2 because they can move up to be number 1 because they got Denver and the Raiders. And you look at the Vikings. The Vikings are trying to stay at number 2 with the Packers and the Bears because the Niners are right behind them, and I think they got an easy schedule with the Raiders and the Cardinals. So right now, a lot of different moving pieces. I can go all the way down when you look at the Jets, the Lions, and the Titans. Who can move up to that spot? I look at the Commanders at number 7. They could easily fall out. They got the Browns and the Cowboys. But you look at the Packers. The Packers have been playing very well. They're trying to move up to that 7th spot, but they got a tough slate. They got the Vikings and the Lions. The Titans are trying to move back in there. The Jaguars in a similar situation. Both of those teams have to win out, and they're not because the Jaguars are sitting at 4. They got the Texans and the Titans. And the Titans are sitting at 10. They got the Cowboys and the Jags without Derrick Henry. without Ryan Tannehill. So it's so many different moving pieces, Dave. You have to look at it because any team from 1 to 7 could either move out of the playoffs or move up. And I'm really looking at the Bills. I think the Bills.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You mentioned the Jaguars and the Titans. Who ends up winning that division? It really comes down to who wins the game between those two next week, or not next week, week after.
Yes, and I thought the Titans really, from a veteran team, I love what Mike Vrabel's been able to do. But if you don't have Derrick Henry and you don't have Ryan Tannehill and where the Jaguars are playing, I have to now change and lead more toward the Jaguars. And you look at the game tonight with the Dallas Cowboys, they're not going to be 100%. They have 8 players that's not going to play. So are they resting their players to have the showdown with the Jaguars? And I just think 3 teams, to me, that are sitting good, either they can move up or they'll stay the same. It's going to be the Bengals sitting at the Niners sitting at number 3.
Yep.
You go to the NFC, the Cowboys, they're sitting at number 5 because they have the Titans and the Commanders. They'll be sitting right there. But the Niners, look at the Niners because they can easily move up to number 2 because the Vikings have the Packers and they have the Bears. And that's what I'm saying about the moving pieces. And even sitting at number 1 for the Bills. The Bills could slip from number 1 because the Chiefs are right behind them, and the Chiefs play the Denver Broncos and the Raiders, and the Bills have the Bengals and the Patriots. So the next couple of weeks is really going to be very crucial as far as the seeds because Buffalo right now, with the treacherous weather, I don't think any team wants to come and play Buffalo, when it comes to late January. So if they cannot win against the Bengals and the Patriots, they slip down, and now their chances to be Super Bowl winners, drops a lot.
Well, I just hope for humanity's sake that in Buffalo it warms up because it's been a disaster there and people have passed and they weren't able to really clear the streets like they normally do. It's totally been a mess. But you're right. I don't think anybody wants to go play at Buffalo against Josh Allen, that defense, and all the weapons they have. I am intrigued. The story of Brock Purdy in San Francisco winning all these games with a guy who was a practice squad player just a few weeks ago, it's an incredible story. If both the Niners and the Vikings were to win their game, who do you think would win between those two to get into the NFC Championship game?
I have to go with the 49ers, and the reason why I go with the 49ers is because of their defense. Their defense is tremendous, and when you look at them offensively, what a tremendous job that Purdy has been able to do. But I think you have to look at Kyle Shanahan. That offense is not built for a quarterback to have to go out and win games. But when you look at Purdy, he is in full control, full command of the offense. He understands the offense. He's throwing the football down the field. He isn't making mistakes, and he can afford to make a couple of mistakes because the defense is so good. When I look at the Vikings, I still have them up top because they're winning football games, but they've had 7 games of 1 score, pretty much. And that's saying a lot for them to win, but I think defense wins championships, and I'll take the 49ers. I trust the 49ers defense and Kyle Shanahan better than I do with the Vikings.
All right, last thing, a real hard one for you. If Jimmy G could come back, would you stay with Purdy or would you go back to Jimmy G?
I stay with the hot hand. I stay with the hot hand. We know what Jimmy G has been able to do. We understand what he's been able to do, but he has not gotten his team over the hump. Right now, this team is rallying around a young quarterback, and tell you to be honest about it, he's throwing the football down the field more outside the hashes than Jimmy G did. I would stay with the hot hand.
Happy New Year to you and your wife and all your children. May 2023 be happy and healthy and full of football conversations with you and me.
Same to you, Dave. Hopefully we'll get some lunch, man. I know it's basketball season, but we'll catch up.
Oh, yeah. I owe you lunch. That is for sure. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That is our man on the NFL and, of course, on the Tiger football team, Russell Copeland, brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Are you ready for that fantastic dream home you've been thinking about for years? Maybe you got land in your family, you're ready to make that move, but wait, you're not sure how to utilize it. Ken Garland knows. Go to kengarland.com. You'll see all the homes that he and his dad before him have built over the last 60 years. Maybe you're looking for land. Oh, Ken Garland, he's got land in some really great areas. Or maybe you love your lot, but you want the modern amenities. He does renovation. I call it renovation with innovation, taking all the new amenities, the modern conveniences, and putting them in your older home that's so comfortable to you, that lot, that location, you love it. You don't have to move, not after a renovation, with innovation from Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Call 751-1632. 751-1632. Ken Garland, the best when it comes to building and renovating homes. We pause for a second. When we come back to Baton Rouge, we go. We'll talk some SEC hoops, crazy games yesterday, and LSU's playing in a bowl game against Purdue. Purdue doesn't have a coach or a quarterback. Kind of crazy. We'll talk a little bowl football with him as well. He's next on Wolo and Friends.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, I'm out here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, and Kevin and Jeff asked me to wish each of you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Whether you've bought from All-Star or not, they want everyone to feel at home here at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. If you want something new to drive for Christmas or the New Year, maybe a Silverado or Tahoe or Traverse or Suburban, or just need to sell your car, call or come by and see Kevin or Jeff. They have everything you could want in certified and pre-owned vehicles. If you need service before heading out for the holiday trips, call and ask for Jeff or Chance in service, or go to allstarautogroup.com. And remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Bartlett, Mount Moriah, or Collierville. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. Find new fun for the holidays and find new roads to All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from everyone at All-Star Chevrolet.
Hey friends, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. You're probably thinking now about what to get that wonderful lady in your life for Christmas. And if you want something special, let me give you some advice. Special gifts do not come with a cord or a plug. The best gifts come in small boxes, make her eyes sparkle, and those gifts are our strongest point at Russell Brothers. A beautiful diamond bracelet or perhaps a pair of stunning diamond studs could make you a real hero on Christmas morning. Maybe she's dropped some hints about a gold and diamond necklace, or you want to surprise her with a magnificent ring that says, I love you. Stunning gifts of jewelry come in so many different flavors, and we've got them all just waiting for you at Russell Brothers. We've been helping Memphis shoppers for 5 decades, and we would love to help you become a part of the Russell Brothers family. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins, and remember, no cords and no plugs. Let us help you be the best Santa you can possibly be. Russell Brothers Jewelers.
Hello Memphis, this is Johnny B with the Memphis Music Room, the newest event center and music venue in the city, located right off Interstate 40 and Sycamore View at 5770 Shelby Oaks Drive. Get your tickets today for our New Year's Eve celebration. $75 tickets include a prime rib or garlic chicken dinner with party favors and a champagne toast. Entertainment to take you into the new year will be Memphis's very own Jackie Flora.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. You know it's Christmas time. You know the choir's singing.
Brad Webb and Friends. And the Marcus Malone Band. Get your tickets today at www.memphismusicroom.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. Friends.
It's time to find a new ride at Gossett Mitsubishi's year-end sales event, where you'll find the perfect deal to start your new year. Get 31 MPG combined in your new 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage, $249 a month, or buy for just $17,100, or get 1.9 for 36 months. Or take your pick from 2023 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander, $389 a month, or get 1.9 for 36 months. And if you're looking for peace of mind in your new ride, you'll get Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage, $249 a month, or buy for just $17,100. 2023 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander for $389 a month, or get 1.9 for 36 months. Shop Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage PH 00513 MSRP 17.6, Eclipse PZO 11573 MSRP 29,855, Outlander PZ 007969 MSRP 30,235, includes all rebates and incentives, excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/22. Dealer stock only.
Corky's Barbecue. Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We are honored that so many Memphians have made our holiday hams and our hickory smoked turkeys a tradition for their family's Thanksgiving and Christmas meals. Whether you want a smoked turkey, honey glazed spiral sliced ham, or you want the entire feast with our incredible side dishes, Corky's makes it easy for you. Why do all the work? All you have to do is heat it up and enjoy. We sold out last year, so don't wait. Reserve yours today at corkysbbq.com.
Flavor, Corky's Barbecue.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Man, am I behind. I'm shortchanging my guy, my SEC historian. That's the one and only Ron Higgins down in Baton Rouge. Ron, a week ago, you weren't convinced about LSU. Even though they had a great record, that wasn't a great win. How about yesterday? Knocking off Arkansas, which I actually thought was the best team in the SEC until maybe yesterday. Now, what are your thoughts? Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I thought I have a clearer picture of what LSU is about now, and I really like the way they stay within themselves. They're not athletically. Arkansas was just much better than LSU, but LSU controlled the pace and took away the two things that Arkansas just kind of lives off. They live off of creating turnovers and scoring off turnovers. Arkansas averages. Team in the game averaged 23 points a game off of turnovers, and LSU only gave up 4 points off LSU's turnovers. That was huge, and they kept Arkansas off the foul line. Arkansas was like second in SEC in free throw attempts made and attempted, and they only attempted 10 against LSU. So LSU played smart, and honestly, I know Arkansas has a lot of talent, and in the right places. I know one of their freshmen is not playing right now. Is really talented. I can't see this team getting to a Final Four because it can't shoot a basketball. It's a horrible shooting basketball team. Horrible. I can't describe. And you know what? It's kind of you get this a lot with teams that are so athletic, but they can't shoot because they're all great athletes who can't shoot. They couldn't shoot. I mean, they scored 19 points in the first half. LSU wasn't much better. They scored 24. Arkansas was over 13 from three-point line in the first half. Only hit 4 of them in the second half. It's not what they do. They score off the turnovers or crash the boards. They're athletes, but they sure can't shoot. I know that they cannot shoot. And I don't know how that's going to play out for them.
I would tell you right now that guys that are catch and shoot guys should become more of a priority in college basketball because the way we play the game today, I agree with you. That's the flaw in the University of Memphis. They thought they had a couple of guys coming in that would have taken care of that. They ended up one going to the G League, one got sort of stolen away by Stanzel at Western Kentucky, Stansbury at Western Kentucky. But that's what's missing with Memphis, and it's missing with a bunch of teams. What's missing with Kentucky? At one point, the number one team in the country in the preseason, and they lose. And I mean, they were dominated. They were never in the game at Missouri yesterday.
I think they're just trying to find out, who they are. They don't know who they are. I mean, they're still searching for identity. They're kind of wandering around still. They don't know who they are. And the opening day of SEC kind of really opened eyes. I mean, kind of makes you feel like, man, you know, I know Tennessee won. They were down by 10 at Ole Miss, and
yeah, no, they
Missouri
were fortunate.
Kentucky, LSU, Arkansas.
Well, Tennessee played great D in the second half. They only gave up 25 points.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of it kind of shows this league could be more wide open than you think. I mean, can LSU sustain this? I don't know, but I do know this about LSU. All their players understand where they operate from offensively best on the floor. They don't do anything outside of what they're supposed to do and where they have the best chance of scoring, and they get the ball to the people in those spots. And I've said for years, that's the secret of NBA basketball. Guys get to their spot where they operate from offensively and getting the ball in spot and scoring. And if you do that enough, you're going to win. LSU did that last night. And they didn't step outside themselves. They got the ball to the right people in the right spots. Before this game, Eric Musselman figured out, looking at the film, that LSU's best scorer only got 8 points last night, by the way. He scored 93 field goals this year off of 27 dribbles.
Wow. That's
called getting the ball to your guy on the spot where he operates from the best. And kind of that's what LSU does really well. And if their defense holds together and they don't beat themselves turnover-wise, which all of Will Wade's teams did. Will Wade's teams were god-awful with turnovers, and they didn't value possessions. Athletically great, but didn't value possessions. So, yeah, I'm a little more convinced last night. A little more convinced, yep.
Real quick, football, Ole Miss last night. I don't know if you watched that game, but, man, fourth downs. The Rebs 2 of 7, 1 of 5 in the first half, deep in their own territory on occasion. Texas Tech was 5 of 6. Penalties, Ole Miss had 8. They also They turned the ball over. They had 5 turnovers in that game. That did not look like a well-coached game for Lane Kiffin.
No, it looked like they kind of shut and ran around, honestly. And I really have never really been. I think Jackson Dart's not that great of a quarterback. At least he hasn't lived up to the quarterbacks they've had at Ole Miss recently. Still learning on the job and still misreading defenses and still kind of sometimes hones in on one receiver. And you got a whole spring to get better. A lot of these people do. So we'll see what happens coming back next year.
He is our guy, Ron Higgins. I know the LSU Tigers are going to play Purdue. They don't have a quarterback or a coach. We'll talk about that next week. Should be a big LSU win for certain. I want to wish you, Paige, all the kids, happy, healthy 2023. I hope you get to play a lot of golf.
Oh, me too. I hope so, too. All right, Wolo.
Thank you, buddy.
See you.
That is our guy, Ron Higgins, our SEC historian in Baton Rouge. He's brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. They will serve you. Let me tell you, I had a problem. I had a burst pipe. It happened on Christmas Eve. They worked me in because I'm a Comfort Club member, and it got fixed early this past week. Thank you, Conway. They do it for everybody. They take whatever means they have to. And they remind you they've got a little special going on right now because the HVAC prices are going up due to new government regulations. They say buy a new system from us right now, and you could choose from a couple different brands. They will give you a free furnace and a free Nest thermostat. Get efficient, get new technology. They'll throw in the furnace and the thermostat. 384-3511. Let Conway take care of you. That'll do it. Johnny Radio is next. Don't forget tomorrow, J-Mo. We've got our Pick 6 at 16. We'll see you then.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin here for Homer